Welcome to Wise Up on Our Hands On for a special Friday afternoon edition here in Seattle. I'm joined by special guest today. Welcome, Michelle.
Thanks. It's really fun and it's Friday.
Yeah, I'm Damian Kaspauer, Software Product Manager here at Audio Kinetic. And
Yeah,
Michelle's going to...
Michelle done the acting lead for integration.
Excellent. So we're here to tell you that the new Wwise 22.1 beta public preview 2 is out right now in the launcher. Super excited to have that available for folks to download through the Wwise launcher, which you can get at audiokinetic.com. And we just wanted to give you a quick overview of some of the cool things that comes with this public preview 2. So, shall we?
Oh, yes, there's a lot.
There is, and I maybe will take just a moment up front to say thanks to all the folks at Audio Kinetic who have been pushing to bring this public preview to the community so that you can get your hands on it and give these new features a try before the full release. And so with that idea, if you've been following along, we had our public preview 1 earlier this spring that brought you a whole host of features. We're here today talking about the beta preview 2, which will include our integrations. And this is all leading up to the fall release of 22.1 that will be ready for production. So what do we got? Well, in the public preview 1, we talked about a whole bunch of features around our new editing workflow, different ways to leverage the new strengths in the user interface around Project Explorer search, paste properties, a ton of new curves for spatial audio. And we're excited here today to talk about integrations, and that's the way that Wwise integrates with your custom game engines, Unity, and Unreal. Do you want to talk more about kind of the role that integrations play, Michelle?
Yeah, of course. Many people are using Unreal and Unity as a middleware, and there are other middlewares also available. And our code actually makes sure that Unity and Unreal projects can interact easily with the Wwise project. So you don't have to redo all the code, redo all the blueprints, all the low-level stuff. And there's a lot of features that are now available for Unity and Unreal that are actually quite cool. So it helps people developing easier.
Yeah, and it's all about closing that gap between what you can do in Wwise to establish your interactive audio systems and behaviors and prepare those assets for the game engine. And so, a lot of the work that you and your team does is really just bridging that gap of accessibility between Wwise and a game engine. And that's why I'm super excited to talk about one of the first features is the auto-defined SoundBanks.
Yeah, exactly. And this is something that we've been pushing for a long time. So many people that were with us for event-based packaging, that was our first foray into that world where we said, well, we want to actually define all the SoundBanks automatically from the events, and we don't want to create SoundBanks manually. We want everything to be done automatically by the system, and actually the system loading whatever is required at the good time without having to write a single line of code. And for the past 2 years, we've had that, but it was not present inside authoring. And now it's the first time we have a lot of knowledge. We work tirelessly to make sure that it actually works correctly. And we now know what most people are trying to do with their SoundBanks and with the event-based packaging. So it was a good time to actually do it in authoring. So of course, the Preview 1 had that feature, but now the Preview 2 actually uses that feature inside Unreal, which is really great. Now you can actually create your own auto-defined SoundBanks automatically. You don't have to create anything except pushing the small checkbox, or use your user-defined SoundBanks, or both at the same time. And for the Unreal demo, it will, in this case, it will actually create all the events. They will be available to your Wise picker, to your WebP picker automatically. So, for example, in this screen capture, you have the fire weapon, you have the play footsteps, but you also have kick, which you see in the auto-defined SoundBanks is grayed out because it's in user-defined SoundBank drum kit. So you can just drag and drop whatever you want from the Wise picker or the WebP picker and choose what you want to play as an event, and it will use it seamlessly no matter where it's actually at.
Yeah, and this is that huge leap towards, a sound bank automatic workflow where you don't have to manually. And it's the perfect hybrid because if you still need that level of optimization to create a sound bank, you have that possibility. And again, with Wise 22.1, we've moved that back into Wise authoring and made it available across all of our different integrations, not just Unreal.
Yeah, exactly. So if you have a very normal project where you created all your SoundBanks yourselves for your game, and you decide to go to Unreal, now you can keep the same SoundBanks, the same things. You can keep the same optimization that you've had, and you can actually recreate that entire hierarchy directly inside Unreal as you wish. Or if you are someone that's been using event-based packaging, you just select auto-defined SoundBanks in the project settings. And then you can generate your SoundBanks directly in the SoundBank Manager like usual, and they will be picked up automatically by your project in Unreal.
Great. And like you said, the natural evolution when you're working with the Wise Unreal integration between event-based packaging and now auto-defined sound banks moving forward from 22.1. So I'm super excited for folks to get their hands on that in their pipelines. We got one more cool feature in integrations that we want to talk about. But before that, make sure you look at the migration notes that are part of this Beta 2 release. You can get a quick start guide to get you up and running and integrated. And again, let us know how that goes for you as we are continuing to evolve this. Large world support. I think
Yeah,
in UE5,
finally.
that's what we expect, right?
Yeah, exactly. And this is one of the reasons why we didn't have it in 21.1. It's because it required a lot of changes under the hood on the actual sound engine and even authoring, because whenever we sent out the coordinates for previewing, if they are in large world, you can imagine just how bad it was looking.
Yeah.
So many changes were required, and also I will say that Unreal changed their minds multiple times on how to actually implement that and what was there. So we had it running a little bit for some times, then they changed their minds and everything, and now they seem to have gelled that for something that's actually really great. and we are supporting
Yeah,
this natively. So if you are with Unreal Engine 502, I believe, and up, it should work seamlessly.
great. And it's nice to have Unreal working forward with this kind of technology, and we're right there alongside, making sure that, as you said, we're in there evolving alongside of the work that they're doing, and to support our customers who are out there already jumping on the bleeding edge of this technology, making cool
Mhm.
things with Wwise and Unreal. Uh,
Yeah, and it's a complex issue also, just because well, it's twice as big, so it
yeah.
needs to have all the CPUs are working harder, everything works harder, so it's a hard optimization problem to be had.
Cool. Yeah, well, and I have been watching the tremendous work that has gone on internally to bring us into this future that Unreal has ushered, and exciting for folks out there to get their hands on these advanced pipelines uh, to make cool stuff. It's great.
Yes.
Another piece of the integrations across both Unreal and Unity is a new third person listener distance probe. The
Oh yeah, that's the coolest thing.
Yeah,
That's the coolest thing ever. Because normally you have a character and you follow that character. So if you are in their eyes and ears, it's really easy. Everything is just peachy. You follow exactly the good sound at the good place, and that's fine. But eventually, what happens is you want to have a third party viewer for some games, but you still need to listen to the audio at the proper volume according to what the player sees and hears, so they cannot cheat and have more. So you still need to know what's happening in that room, how the special audio is actually working with this. But then you need to be able to listen to the special audio specifically for where your camera is, where all the attenuation you want to keep elsewhere. And it's actually a really nice feature, just speaking about this like that. But
and a common
we don't restrict you. You
yeah.
can do whatever you want. If you want to have really awkward and weird stuff, you can do it, and
Yeah.
that's the really nice thing. So I cannot wait to hear about the sound effects and the special effects that people will actually be able to do with that.
Well, it's true, and that third person perspective, right? This is something that many developers will negotiate for themselves and come up with their own solutions, and many have over time using Wwise. But now we're providing the distance probe as part of our integrations in Unreal and Unity, as well as a third person listener API for folks integrating it in their own engines. And again, giving them access to that abstraction um, as as a core part of what we provide for developers. As you said, it's just going to make things sound right in those scenarios when a developer can abstract and use it the way that it should sound. So,
Yeah, exactly, because the special audio right now, all the specialization plugins and all the things that you can actually do with the different systems, they are starting to sound really good. And you start to have the impression that you are actually immersed in that place. But then you are in a third party game and it sounds awkward because you are not hearing the objects being reflected
yeah.
the same way that you see them, but you still need to have some kind of attenuation for the place where the character is at that point. So yeah, it's getting to a really interesting place, I'd say.
Totally, totally. And we're right here trying to bring those solutions to folks so they can make them sound great.
Yes.
Uh, so log in, download the Wwise 22.1 public beta. Uh, Grab it right now. We just launched it. and you can put your hands on it in your pipeline. Go to install the new version. There's a special tab, and it will give you access to that beta right now. But do not migrate your production to a preview or beta version of Wwise. These are still early versions that we're looking for feedback on and support. Yeah, don't plan to ship with these.
Yeah, don't plan on ship, but also I will say these APIs will change. We tried not changing most of the things. So if you look at the AK Audio plugin like you used to have, you will still have most of the functions, most of the functionalities. Everything will be there as you expect them to be. But everything under the hood has changed.
Yeah.
And it's still in a place where we are waiting for your feedback on this. And this will be important eventually. So if you are starting to write custom code and actually migrating your project to that, you might actually have issues with the real migration once it happens sooner.
Yep. Stay safe out there in your developments.
Yes. Yes. Have backups.
Yeah. If you want to know more about this automated and auto-defined SoundBank future that we're talking about and previewing today as part of the beta release, come back around in a couple weeks on August 10th at 3 p.m. Eastern and noon Pacific. We'll be going hands-on with a lot of these core concepts. We'll be flipping the hood in Wwise and Unreal, talking to a depth about all of the different mechanisms you can employ to help automate the process of asset management in your game and kind of unleash yourself from this concept of manually created sound banks as a default. So we hope you can join us for that. And thanks for catching up with us on this short introduction to the Preview 2. There's going to be a survey as part of your installation, which we would love to get your feedback on. It goes into questions around your use with Wwise authoring as part of this preview and beta, as well as some questions about the integration side of things. We also have a series of feedback channels. If you get a bug, one of the coolest things is getting these bugs from folks who have their hands on the preview and beta and being able to address those before the full release. So please.
Yeah, please just don't limit yourself to bugs, please. If you have use cases, if you have things, if you have concern, you can actually talk to the support, or you can report bugs. And it's not a bug, but well, this actually is weird a little bit. And in my use case, it's not working right now perfectly. So what should I do with this? So please make yourself heard, because we need to have that kind of feedback right now. If you tell us what's going great or wrong, we can actually address or improve this even better for the final release. So you need to actually tell us about those.
Absolutely. I think that is part of the core of being out here early with this new version of Wwise, is to try and get as much context for what we're creating and helping to drive development through your informed support. So
yeah, see the open ears at audiokinetic.com, the general feedback part.
Yeah.
That's the awesomest place. We might not answer back, but we will listen to whatever you have to say about that. Yeah. And we will take this into consideration. We might talk to you about those kind of issues. So we are waiting for that. Please tell us how we are doing on this.
Operators are standing by. So thanks so much for this very brief Wwise Up on air hands-on with the beta 2. I was kind of going for shortest live stream ever here on Audio Kinetic, Wise Up on Air. Do you think think I'm going to make it?
Close, but Mats is really good with his 1 minute.
Yeah, we do have those 1 minute Wise. That's going to be tough to beat those.
That's gonna be tough to beat.
Yeah. Well, Michel, congratulations on your part in shipping the 22.1 beta. Nice work.
Thanks.
To you and your team and everyone at Audio Kinetic who has pushed to get these early release versions out the door so that folks can jump in, give it a try, and let us know how we're doing in advance of the full release this fall. So,
yes, thank you very much.
Thanks for being here today, and stay cool this summer. Take care.